everyone. So I have been exchanging emails with a student that was asking if there was a quiz due on Sunday. The answer is yes. So that led me to believe that maybe we did not spend enough time on Canvas. So let's do that now. I'm going to do this quick. So I know you guys are like, do I really need to listen to this guy again? So class resources. So this is the student view. This is assuming you go through the web. If you go through the phone, it's a little bit more complicated, but let's just get started. So class resources. This is where you can find that intro presentation that I gave last week. This is the weekly outline. If you click on this, it'll tell you exactly the same thing that's in Canvas. What's coming up and when. This is the syllabus. These are my office hours. This is a link to the book we use for this class. So if you click on that link, sometimes it'll come up in Canvas. Sometimes it won't. But if it doesn't, you just click the title and it'll open up. Click on table of contents and it'll take you to whatever chapter we're working on. So let's go back to this. And then there's a little more information about me, which you guys already know everything you need to know. Okay, so campus resources. This is just some stuff, right? You click on it, it'll tell you if you've got issues or you got questions, who do you go talk to? You can also just ask me. There's also a ton of extra credit, right? Each of it says 0. This should say 0. It says 25, but it will say 0. You want it to say 0 because if there's points associated with it, then it counts toward the total grade. But if it says 0, then it doesn't, which means that if I put in 25, then it's at 25 additional points. So summer break story, super easy, right? Just click on it. Tell me what you did over the summer, right? If you didn't do anything, make it up, right? I don't care. The key is I want you guys to begin and continue to think about the fact that you're in college and you should be doing fun stuff, right? And so if you didn't do anything fun, you should be asking yourself, why didn't you do something fun? And so you'll just type it in here and you will hit submit. Super easy. Office hours, you got to come see me. And so I'll give you flexibility. This says it wraps up next Thursday, but don't worry about that. I mean, I really just want you guys to stop by my office. And here's the other thing is if you attended the entrepreneurship thing yesterday, where Rio was making a presentation, hit me up next week and I'll give you office hours credit for that. Don't worry about LinkedIn yet. We're going to talk about LinkedIn later, but these are a bunch of extra credit things that I've got that you guys can do. So don't worry. That's why I'm always going to say, don't worry about missing one assignment. Week 1, this is what we did last week, right? So there's a course introduction, no class on Monday, right? And this is the assignment that everybody did. And when you click on it, and you know how to do that, right? Well, there's videos that are in here. And my goal with all of my classes is that there's really 3 parts to my classes. There's the one part we work on in the classroom. And it's normally going to be as little lecture as possible, followed by a case study where we work on these real world problems like we did this week. And that's one part. 2 parts is reading that you're going to do on your own, right? And a quiz, because there's got to be reading and there's got to be a quiz so that there's some non-subjective way to assess whether you're learning, right? And then the third are these videos that I post. And so you combine those 3 things and it results in a pretty comprehensive learning experience, which is what you should demand, by the way. You should never look at this as, oh my God, he gave me more work. It should be, you better give me more work because I'm here to learn stuff, not to screw around. We're here to screw around a little bit, but then you're supposed to do some work and learn. So these are the videos. This is the third part, right? You got the stuff you got to read, and then you got the stuff we do in class. And then what I'm going to do every week is read chapter 1, assigned readings. So you'll click on this. Once again, it'll pop up or it won't, regardless. Just click the title and it'll take you right there. Here are your learning outcomes. So, and it's super, these are not complicated readings, right? Obviously, lots of big pictures. So, but it should be reinforcing what we do in the classroom and the videos. So that's why I said all 3 pieces go together. And this book is free. You can print it off if you want. You can go to the bookstore and they'll print it for you for like, I don't know, 15 bucks or something. But this is free. You could do it on your phone. It's super easy. So let's go back. That's week 1, right? So week 1, you're assigned the reading. Okay. Then week 2, we had our case studies, right? Well, you had we had the introduction to business and economics, and then we had the case study. Those two things combined with the videos that I had posted and combined with the reading lead you to chapter 1. Every week there's going to be a chapter, and it's always going to be on Sunday. And then these are the videos that I want you to watch, right? And these videos connect right back to what we have been talking about. So that's sort of the cycle. There are 3 parts, right? There's the one part that is, you do it on your own. You read the chapter and you take a quiz. Part 2 is we work on the cases that are specifically connected to whatever we're working on in that week. And then 3, there's these videos that sort of reinforce and bring it all together. There's really 3 parts. So I'm sorry I didn't cover that as well last week as I should have. And so I'm really, really glad that that student mentioned that there was some confusion. So, next week, this is what we're going to do next week. Next week is amazing, right? So we start talking about business ethics, and we've got a couple of really good case studies that I think you're going to really, really enjoy. And then, but don't forget, this week, there was an assigned reading. You're going to read chapter 2, and then next week you're going to take a quiz on chapter 2. So I hope that's not all that confusing. It makes perfect sense in my little brain. So if it is confusing, just hit me up and I'll do it again. All right, guys, try to have a good weekend. Do something fun. I'm expecting stories on Monday. Peace.